Welcome back. We are still talking some high school football, and let's take things over to Acomoco County Stadium. There was a good matchup over there on Thursday night as Bennett was taking on North Carolina. The Bulldogs were already up early on this one, but the Clippers on the comeback trail. Jacob Larimore finds Michael Jean Charles from midfield. He takes it in. We're tied up at 7s, but the Bulldogs, they took a 20-7 lead in the half and then broke this thing open in the third right here. Bailey takes this thing in from midfield for the score right there, barrels his way in. And then it was Rodney Thomas. He puts this thing away, gets to the outside, gets the edge, up in for the score. Bulldogs take it 42-25.
And it was homecoming at Easton as they hosted the Stephen Decatur Seahawks. Let's say we say this name a lot. Leon Florina right up the middle and keeps his jersey clean because nobody touches him. Warriors on the board first to open up the game, but the Seahawks quick to respond. Justin Meekins finds Matt Lecomte for the 36-yard touchdown pass, and the Seahawks tie it up. Next on Jelon Mahoney, finding the need for speed, a 61-yard touchdown. And did I mention this was in the first quarter alone? The Seahawks were able to tie things up after that, but the Warriors remain undefeated as they edge out Decatur 34-33.
That's my team right there. I still got them. Well, Dover, they were taking on Sussex Tech, pick things up in the third quarter, and Ravens' Kanai Kane just goes absolutely beast mode, barrels his way in from 18 yards out. That made it 35-7, and you thought they could turn off the lights, but no, sir. The Senators come storming back. Delvin Laughlin able to find pay dirt right there from 11 yards out. That made it 35-14, cut it to a 3-score game. And then after another Dover TD, Riston Harris is able to find Devon Allen right there from 3 yards out. 7-point game, but the Ravens defense able to buckle down right here, gets a stop, and then check out the sideline right after this. They are fired up, and why not? They get a big win over Dover, 35-28 the final.
And on Saturday, Milford looking to tame the Wildcats, but Delmar ready to blow up the Bucks in their homecoming game, and they start the game off like this. That's Shane Leatherbury Sr. takes off for the opening kickoff for 80 yards for a touchdown, 7-0 Wildcats.
What a play, man. What a
but
play.
The Buccaneers looking to spoil things. Sean Snowden takes a counter right for 35 yards. Milford would tie things up, but the Wildcats want to win this game. DeJour Brown, look at this play, Spencer, takes the option pitch, 51 yards right there.
That's so hard to cover if you got a quarterback like Leatherbury that can run it. I mean, it gets so much space right there, and that has a lot to do with Leatherbury being that good.
And Delmar gets their first win of the season, 28-14, the final. They were happy about that one.
Yeah, they definitely needed to. Well, Colonel Richardson was hosting Arcadia early on in this one. Looks like a big play for the Colonels as Sean Bowens finds Dylan Newport down near the goal line, but that thing would come back because of a holding penalty. Scoreless after one because of some serious defensive plays like this one right here. Safety Isaiah Bowden absolutely flying in, breaks up that pass attempt. And just 30 seconds left before half, facing 4th and goal from the 3. The Colonels fake it, and it's Bowens. He's able to find David Dickerson for the touchdown. Colonels get their first win of the year as they take it 12-8 the final. A little bit odd of a football final right there, by the way, but hey, it's still a win in the books. And you know what? Just a number of great performances out there. A huge week 5 of football.
That's true. And Trey Miles joins us now. Trey, looking at these scores, a lot of close ones, and I'm sure there's a shakeup in your power rankings.
Giselle, you're exactly correct. It's hard to believe that we are already halfway through the high school football season. But first, before we look at power rankings, let's take a look at some other teams that were in action this week. Tatnall stings Seaford 41-6. Smyrna with a dramatic victory, holding on in the waning seconds to beat Central 35-29. Lake Forest is 5-0. Big win over defending South champs Indian River. And how about Washington sneaking out one against Nandua 14-6. Couple more Bayside scores to show you. Ken Island pulls away from Parkside in the second half, 43-25 the final. And Ken Island gets their second win of the year, edging out Parkside 29-28. Well, week 5 features some great matchups. No cupcakes left on the menu. Conference play is here. Let's take a look at this week's power rankings. In Delaware, Woodbridge at 5, coming off a tough loss to Laurel. Still think this team can finish very strongly. Tech, an exciting win, as you saw, over Dover. This conference, to me, is just too good to move them up anymore right now. Number 3, no other than the Laurel Bulldogs, continuing to prove folks wrong. Lake Forest, number 2, and number 1, it's not even close like these guys at the desk said. The Cape Vikings are a legit team. In Maryland, North Carolina Bulldogs come in at number 5. Like I said last week, their only loss is to Ken Island. Cambridge, with their first loss of the year to the hands of my Delaware number 1, Cape. They slipped to 4, opening up the gate for Easton at 5-0 to squeak into that number 3 spot. Queen Anne's at number 2, and still My number one team, as consistent as they come, the Kent Island Buccaneers. Guys, tell me what you think this week.
I want some cupcakes.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, why no more cupcakes? I really like cupcakes. That's not fair. Well, looking at the Delaware teams at first, I still want to say Sussex Tech's better than Laurel, but I want to say that under my breath. I'm going to go 1A, 1B situation right there. And I got to be honest right now, I've been on the leading the Easton bandwagon train right now. The Warriors have been shaky the last few weeks. I actually think maybe Cambridge, even though they lost, had a more impressive week, but 5-0 is 5-0 at the end of the day.
It's true. And one team on there that I feel we haven't mentioned as much is the Lake Forest Spartans. Number 2, Trey. I mean, let's be critics about this. They may be the best team, hands down. Yes, I said it, and I'm not afraid to say it because not only are they undefeated, but the way they have won their games, overtime, finishing till the end, they should be number 1.
And maybe, I mean, you were talking about teams we sleep on. We haven't even really talked about them, and they've looked really well. Well, let's take it to the college level. 4th-ranked Wesley Football was back in action on Saturday when they hosted Louisiana College in their homecoming game. Pick things up in the second half. The Wolverines already rolling in this thing. Joe Callahan finds Dover alum Xavier Allen. That is good for the touchdown. It made it 49-14 and not done yet. A huge hole here for Brandon Wright. He turns on the Jets, 41 yards in for the score. The defense would do the rest from there. Peyton Rose gets a sack right after this play. They only gave up 28 yards on the ground the entire game. That's a ridiculous number. Wesley takes this thing 56-21.
Well, I mean, we got a lot of seniors on the team right now. We've been playing together for a long time. We just practice well together. We're all friends, so, I mean, it's a together unit. I mean, there's always undefeated talk going on, but we're just worried about the next game right now.
We're going to go to our next segment. Go grab some orange juice, but hurry back because we have more to come. Coming up, the Parkside girls soccer team taking on the Stephen Decatur Seahawks. Some overtime. Keep it locked right here on 47 ABC.
This is Brendan Riley with the Parkside Rams. You're now watching Delmarva Sports Insider.